Welcome to 5 and 5 from the One Stop Co-op Shop, where I discuss 5 key elements of a game in about 5 minutes. I'm Michael Kelly, and today I'm finishing up my coverage of the West Kingdom trilogy with Architects of the West Kingdom from Renegade Games. And a quick thank you to Renegade for sending me a review copy of this one. I really liked Viscounts, but was a bit mixed on Paladins, so where does Architects fall in? Let's find out and get to the list. I'm going to start out for my number 5 with a pro, and this is a consistent element in the trilogy, and that's the virtue system. And in Architects, how it works is you've got this virtue track, and certain actions will move you up or down it. And as you might expect, near the top of the track you get bonus victory points, near the bottom you get negatives. But what really makes this more fun for me and brings it to a pro are the other effects, because near the top of the track you're actually limited in the actions you can take, and also at the bottom, but at the bottom you also have these bonuses, and that actions cost less silver. So there's kind of this incentive to go down into the dirt and then maybe dig yourself up afterwards. It's pretty fun. But I'm moving on to a mix for my number 4, which is the kind of micro-turn structure of the game. And to explain what I mean, game turns in this are incredibly fast. You place a single worker, and then you flip a card and the AI places a worker, back and forth, just literally one worker, one action, and done. And on the positive side, this is quick and tense because as you try to build things up, the AI might swoop in at any moment and mess up your plans. But on the negative side, it can feel a bit herky-jerky to do your action and then have to kind of flip and interpret a card for the AI. And also the quick back and forth kind of takes away the possibility of fun combo-licious turns. But I'm back to a pro for my number 3, talking about the AI I was just mentioning, and it is very simple. You just flip up these cards, they'll tell you what to do, which space the AI gets put on. And here's the part where this might be a mix for some players. The AI can be very random. The cards coming out can do things that make no sense or even skip actions for them. But what I like about this randomness is that it contributes to the tension of the worker placement, because as I'll discuss in a moment, you're going to be putting workers down and getting a bigger bonus if you keep on going to the same space, but you don't know when the AI is going to swoop in and capture those workers. So kind of the tension of their randomness actually makes the game more exciting in most cases. But I am dropping down to a full-on con for my number 2, my least favorite thing about the game, at least for my taste, and that's the fact that this is very tactical, but not as strategic as I'd like. To explain what I mean, Architects has a lot of the elements that would usually be present in some kind of engine builder, like you can recruit these apprentices that give you ongoing powers, and these buildings that give you endgame scoring. But the effects and powers of these apprentices and buildings are so limited and have so few opportunities for comboing with each other that you don't really feel like you're getting stronger by the end of the game, and in a bigger knock for me, there isn't that much variety from play to play. But I will bounce back to a pro for my number 1, which is the core mechanic in the game, as already mentioned, placing these workers and building them up for greater and greater actions, because the more workers you get in one action space, the bigger the result you get from them, but the AI can capture workers in one location, and you can capture their workers, and it can get you money and also lock them down for a while so they can't be used. And all of this gives the play a nice tension and a feeling of pushing your luck, like how long can I keep on using this action space before the AI swoops in and grabs all of my units, and then trying to save them from the jail can involve the virtue track I've already mentioned. Lots of cool stuff here, and it definitely gives the game its highest moments of fun for me. So overall, having covered the entire West Kingdom trilogy, Architects sits in an odd space in that it is definitely simpler and quicker and kind of more straightforward than the others. It's not unseating Viscounts at all, because I think that has much better variety in the play, but personally I enjoyed it more than Paladins, because even though the puzzly feel and kind of the combos in Paladins are better, this one is much more accessible. And you might like Architects too if you enjoy lightweight Euros, especially ones with a lot of player interaction, and take that. But on the other hand, if you want a lot of heavy strategy or tons of combos or a real feeling of building up an engine and things ramping up, Architects didn't have very much of that for me. And if you'd like to see a full playthrough of the solo mode, click the link that just popped up. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.